How we doing today, folks, and welcome back to Scooter's Garage. Today we're back on the, well, I should say we're starting on the cheap marketplace Can-Am Outlander. We're going to get this rear differential pulled out, and in the next video we'll get it rebuilt, and then we'll reinstall it and we'll test it out. But for right now, this is where we're at. I've already popped this axle out. I figured I'd spare you guys the cringe factor of me taking that out of there, because I'm lazy and I don't feel like pulling the entire rear suspension out of the machine to pop the axles out. But yeah, that one's loose, so we're gonna start digging in here. I've got to remove the shock here, lower shock bolt, and the sway arm bolt, so that way I can get this to kind of swing down a little bit farther, so I can get this out and then drive that axle out from inside. But we'll get you guys in the stand here and we'll get cracking. Alright, now from what I understand, these bolts here are 15mm. Yes, they are. Okay. So we got our 15mm wrench, we'll grab a 15mm socket in our impact and hope that it fits in there. If not, I got a swivel over here I can use. Get that shock undone. Yeah, definitely gonna need the swivel. Get the shock unbolted, we'll get that sway bar unbolted, and then we'll move on to the sway bar. There we go. Okay. Put that up in there. That in there. Okay. Guess we're going to be doing that by hand. Big deal. Guess I could have prepared a little better and made sure that I had all the proper sockets out, but you know, that's just the right thing to do. There we go. Down there. Oh boy, that thing was on there, that's for sure. And we will have to do this same thing to the other side, just to make it easy, so I don't have to pull these arms off to get these axles out, because we do have new ones that we're going to be installing. I tell you, there's more than just a little bit of pressure on that one. In there and maybe pry that out a little bit. There we go. That's loose. Now we just got to do, hopefully you guys can see this, we got to do this sway bar and link back here. We'll take this bolt out and then we'll just swing it up out of the way, so we can drop this down a little bit. It'll give us a little more room to get that axle out of there. Ooh-wee. All I can smell is gear oil. These rear ends going like this are, from what I read, a fairly common problem with these Gen 2 rear ends. Well, I'm not sure, 100% sure why. I did do a little digging and found that there may be a potential fix for a lack of oil to the needle bearings on the pinion. We'll give that a shot, see what happens. Get this guy out of here. Come on. Wait, right till the last thread, huh? There we go. Okay, now we should be able to get just enough to where we can get this axle out of here. Hoping. Alright. This is definitely one of those, but it worked for the other guy type of things, you know what I mean? Guess it's true what they say, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. That's bottoming out on the frame. Alright, let me, I'll work on it a little bit and I will bring you guys back as soon as I get it out, okay? Thank you. Okay, we got that out of there. I'm sure the astute observers will notice there's something rather large missing. I decided instead of trying to do it that way, which it does work, but if you're just replacing an axle, you'll end up destroying your axle seal in the process. So if you're just replacing an axle, you're better off doing it by pulling the control arm out, which all you have to do for that is there's a 15/16 nut like this on both sides. Put a wrench on one side, ratchet and socket on the other, or an impact, and loosen it up, and then just kind of drive it through a little bit. Once you get it past the end of the control arm on this side, it'll basically just slide right out. It's not, you know, it's not that complicated. It only takes an extra minute or two to do, so I would advise doing it that way if you want to save your axle seals. But our next step here is to try to get you guys in here to see this. In here there is a bolt, a 13mm bolt right here that we need to take out to pull the drive shaft out, and then we can get on to pulling the main bolts for the differential and then sliding it out of place. So let's see if I can get in here. That's the wrong way. I gotta go the other way. Right. I'm gonna do my best here. I'm trying to film with one hand and turn the wrench with the other, so if it gets a little screwy on you, I do apologize. Now I just put this bolt in because when I got this machine, this bolt was missing. Ooh. Boy, I put that in there a little tighter than I thought I did. Alright, so we'll throw the old buddy wrench on there. See if I got a different one, something that'll work better. Don't know, nah, these ones don't usually work that well for this. Try to do this without breaking my wrenches or smashing my hand. There we go. Guess I had that in there a little tighter than I thought I did. Sometimes I don't know my own strength. Alright, I'll get this bolt out, folks, and then we'll bring you back, okay? Alright, so we got the drive shaft bolts out. That's this little guy right here with a washer behind it. Just goes in the end of the drive shaft. A little bit of a bear to get to and hold the camera at the same time, so I'm sure you guys understand. I did go ahead and loosen up that control arm a little bit more. I got that axle out of there. I'll deal with the rest of that off camera, getting that torn apart. Now we need to work on getting these out. There's 2 bolts here that hold the hitch in, and then you've got 1, 2, 3 bolts that hold the differential in place. These are all 15mm on both ends, so I should be able to use my impact to get these out. Headphone warning ahead of time. It's probably going to get a little noisy for a second. Start by taking this hitch off. These bolts out. And the smell of gear oil, folks, I will tell you, it is pungent. Probably one of the worst smells in the automotive industry is having to deal with the smell of gear oil. The other thing we need to do is take these off. These 4 bolts, this whole back plate here will just kind of pop off. We'll do that before we pull the rest of these out. So that way this is out of the way. Once those bolts are done, we can just slide everything back. I believe these are 13s. Let me double check. Yes, they are. Okay. These are 13s. There's a nut on the back side of each one of these. So I may have to get a regular. Oh, I think that might work. Might get that in there. Yeah, let me get a regular 13 that's got a little bit of a bend on the end of it, so I can reach around the back side there. There we go. 13mm wrench. Now you're not gonna, obviously you're not gonna be able to see what you're doing back there, so just gotta kind of go by feel. Got a 13 over here for the impact. If you're on the fence about these, the Harbor Freight impacts, and no, I'm not sponsored by Harbor Freight or Bauer, I would say get one. As far as budget category goes, I can't complain about this thing for, what are they, like 200 bucks? I think I got it on sale for 150. Yeah, mosquitoes. And it's done everything I've asked it to. I mean, obviously there's some things it won't do that the other one, like Milwaukee or DeWalt, will do, but it's well worth the money. It's just a nice little thing to have in your toolbox. Make sure we put all these back together so we don't lose anything. And we just dropped one of the nuts on the ground, but that's okay. Another thing I would advise investing in, if you're going to get into doing stuff like this yourself, is a good set of ratchet wrenches. I don't know why I waited so long to buy a set, but I did, and I swear I wish I had bought them 10 years earlier. They are worth every penny. One out, and then we can pull this back plate off of here. Something I can do without dropping anything. Oh, that was a rock. Thought that was a nut I dropped, but apparently not. Actually, that's right there. It just hit the ground. Okay. And I'm sure you all noticed that we're not working in the garage today. There is a car in there waiting to have its transmission replaced. It's actually my son's car. Hopefully we can shoot a couple videos on that. I'm not really sure if that's going to happen yet, because that's kind of one of those things that I really need to just get it done so I can get the car out of the garage. I'll switch back to our 15 millimeters here. That on there. Whoop, wrench it backwards. I want to burn it up. 3 down, 1 more to go. Yes, I can get out of that one. Okay. Wasn't sure if that was going to work. It really, I mean, it kind of seems intimidating to have to do something like this. You know, I hope that if you're on the fence about doing it yourself, that maybe this video will help give you the confidence to do it. If not, I completely understand. It can be one of those slightly daunting tasks that people are just like, I don't really know that I want to try that myself, and no one would blame you for thinking that. Come on. Oh, we got a fighter, folks. There we go. Had to put some gloves on because I don't want my skin to be permanently permeated by the smell of gear oil. Plain old gear oil stinks bad enough as it is. When it's used and due for change, it's much worse. Then we can just grab a hold of this little guy. Actually, I need to pull that off of there. Hopefully I can. I don't want my cutters. There we go. Okay. Get that out of there. And then, there you go. Differential's out. Let's see if we can get this drive shaft out of here. Oh, you know what? I think it's bolted up front too. I'll have to look into that and let you guys know when we do the next video. We're also going to be doing a drive shaft rebuild. We're going to be putting 2 new U-joints in it because these ones are pretty well wiped out. The splines in there look like they're okay. That was another big concern of mine. But yeah, that's it for pulling the rear differential out. Next time we'll split the case and we'll get an idea of what we're looking at. I got a rebuild kit already, so we're good to go on that front. I am going to have to take the pinion to a shop and have them remove the old pinion bearing, the big one, and then install the new one, because I don't have a shop press and I'd really rather not run the risk of damaging the pinion, assuming that it isn't already. It's kind of mixed results with whether or not they hold up, because, you know, it's a Gen 2 rear end, it's going to have its problems. But yeah, once we get next video, we'll tear it down, we'll get a good look at it, we'll see what happened, what's going on, make sure that the case and the housing is still good, and if it is, we'll get it all reassembled, we'll get it back in the machine, get the new axles in, new U-joints in the drive shaft, all that stuff, and then hopefully we can take it for a ride and see what this thing's really got. But yeah, until next time, remember, keep a shiny side up.